I have been withheld from visitation. I have been contacting him trying to visit my daughter, and I have not been able to. He has not allowed me to see my daughter. I missed her birthday because I was not allowed to be there. I spent my entire last paycheck on all of her birthday gifts, but I still have.
Title of today's video is Judge Humbles Deadbeat Mother After Granting Father Sole Custody. Now, it's important that you watch the entirety of this case because not often do we see the manipulation tactics that women put forth within the family court system in order to win. But also, it is rare for a father to receive sole custody, but we're going to see just why. While the mother is claiming that the father, for no reason, is withholding custody from the mother, the father claims that the mother constantly endangers the child, whether it be through a drug use, violence, or hit and run accidents. And because of which, and also because I think that the mother is high during this hearing, the father wins in the end. Without further ado,
Your Honor, the state is requesting that the court take note that the party Taylor Lambert is before the court today. The parties agree for the custodial parent, the dad here in this matter, to be named as the sole managing conservator, and for the dad to reside with the child in Dallas and the surrounding counties. The state has used minimum wage for the calculation of support, giving no credit for no additional children. The state has calculated child support in the amount of $209 per month to begin on the 1st of next month, April 1st, 2024. The state is requesting that state medical be paid in the amount of $113 per month. There's been no request for retroactive support or dental support with court costs as billed. That appears to be the extent of the agreement. So at this time, Your Honor, the state would like to call the father here in this matter. Sir, can I get you to state your name for the record?
Hunter Stafford.
Sir, as it relates to family violence, has there been any issue relating to family violence between you and the other parties to this case?
Yes, Taylor has on multiple occasions hit me in front of my child, as well as just gone off the rails in front of her. So, yes, there has been.
Has this taken place within the last 2 years?
This would have been in 2022 and or last time around June. So so within the last 2 years, yes.
And just to confirm, you stated that these issues that you spoke of previously happened in front of the child. Is that correct?
Yes, yeah, which is partially the reason why I've been keeping my child away from Taylor per CPS suggestion as well.
And is CPS currently involved in this matter?
CPS cases have been closed. Taylor has not had contact with my child essentially since the cases have been closed. So,
and was that a requirement of CPS or that your choice, sir?
That was my choice based on the actions of Taylor. So.
And how old is the child here in this matter?
She's 3. She just turned 3.
And when was the last time the mother had any visitation with the child?
It's got to be since maybe October, November, at least 6 months.
And as it relates to the visitation going forward, are you requesting that the mother has no visitation with the child?
Yes. On one stipulation is I would let her see my kid if she would take a hair follicle test, because I know that she's faked UAs before. So, and if she can pass a hair follicle test and not fail for heroin, I mean, then all right, we'll start talking about it. But until that day comes, I'd like to keep my child away from her.
So thus far, we have a father that is receiving the minimum amount for child support at $7.25 an hour. You have a woman that has been documented as being violent in front of a 3-year-old child. CPS has been involved, 6 months without seeing the child, and accusations of faking drug tests. Now, it's going to get worse here in a few seconds, but I want you guys to study the behavior of the mother and then write down in the comments section whether or not you think that she's currently high.
All right. Would you be in agreement to the mother having visitation with the child if it's conducted via an outside agency to assist in the visitation, to monitor the visitation?
Yes, yeah. I mean, still with that stipulation, as long as she's not actively doing heroin, then yes.
And has the mother ever endangered the child here in this matter in any form or fashion?
Multiple times, in multiple ways, yes.
And when was the last issue, sir?
The last issue, the last time that she got in a car wreck with my child in the car, when her and her boyfriend were messed up. So, and then they fled the scene of the car accident. So,
and you say that the parties were messed up. Could you explain to the court what do you mean by messed up, sir?
Intoxicated.
And are you requesting that your information such as your address and telephone number be withheld from the record?
Yes, please.
And is that request being made out of safety concerns?
Yes.
Do you have any additional information you'd like to offer to the court as it relates to this matter?
Other than what all the information I relayed in the first phone call is past, yeah. And then the only other thing is that the last lady told me that Taylor said she didn't have a job, but she's been telling me for the past 2 months that she's got 2 of them. So I don't know how truthful that is on her end. So
Am I
that's the only
going
other thing I'd like to pass along.
If I knew that the mother of my child not only has a drug problem, but has been in a hit and run accident with my child, I would have no mercy in deciding that she is no longer going to see our child ever again. This is not being cruel. This is being a protector of somebody who was unable to protect themselves. So at this point of the case, the mother is given the opportunity to describe her actions and listen to how she avoids accountability like it's the plague.
About this?
Any way your turn?
Yes, I can.
All right, thank you. No further questions for this party, Your Honor. At this time, Your Honor, the state would like to call Ms. Lambert. Ms. Lambert, can I get you to state your name for the record?
Taylor Lambert.
Now, as it relates to the contested issue, which is the issue of family violence and the issue of visitation, has there been any issue relating to family violence between you and the other party to this case within the last 2 years?
Yes, there has. The issue being I was under the influence of alcohol. That was when she was less than a year old. And that's not excusing the behavior. That is inappropriate behavior. But it's something that I never hit him again after that. And I'm not sure why he is saying those things, because there was only one instance where I put my hands on him. I don't understand. But yes, there was that one instance, yes.
Judging by the father's reaction, this would be the one instance that was actually documented. Reminder to all my G's that in this situation, if violence happened towards you, find the record button on your phone as soon as possible. The court system often does not believe fathers that accuse mothers of being violent unless there's video proof.
And did you hear what the other parties to this case previously testified that you had placed the child into some very dangerous situations? Are you in agreement with that information that he provided to the court previously?
Yes, I am, and those are also in the same time frame. The one about what he said about me being with my partner, intoxicated in the car with my daughter, that is false. I was by myself and I was living with my sister. What I had tried to do was I only tried to leave the driveway, and I drove into a ditch, and the police were called to the scene, and I was taken to Terrell State Hospital, and I was given a 72-hour hold. My daughter was put in danger, yes, but I did not drive any far. I didn't drive far with her. I didn't go far, and I was under a severe mental breakdown. That doesn't excuse the behavior, but I would like to at least have that be acknowledged.
You were backing out of a driveway and you hit a ditch, and that led to a 3-day hospital stint. The amount of cap on this young woman is absolutely absurd, but this is from the mouth of a master manipulator. Just take a look at the father's face right here, Hunter. That is the look of a man that has dealt with evilness for far too long.
As it relates to the involvement with CPS previously, the other parties provided that CPS was involved in this matter as it relates to the child. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Do you know what the findings based off of the investigation from CPS were?
As we could just continue as is. We would be able to make our own judgment calls. Like he could be able to make his own judgment calls. I would be able to make my own judgment calls based on visitation rights and custody agreements.
And as it relates to the visitation, ma'am, when was the last time you had any visitation with the child?
I have been withheld from visitation. I have been contacting him trying to visit my daughter, and I have not been able to. He has not allowed me to see my daughter. I missed her birthday because I was not allowed to be there. I spent my entire last paycheck on all of her birthday on all of her birthday gifts that I still have. I was not allowed to give any of her gifts to her. I was not allowed to see her for Christmas, even though I asked her. My parents had asked him if I would be able to see, if they would even be able to see my daughter, and he refused. Thanksgiving, same thing. Halloween, I mean, I was still, just freshly clean, and there I understand that reasoning. But as far as me not trying to see my daughter, that is absolutely 110% false. I have been trying.
All right. And as it relates to the visitation, what type of visitation are you requesting moving forward with the child?
I want any visitation that is allowed. I am willing to work on his terms as long as I'm able to see my daughter. That is all I care about. I'm willing to take steps. I know it's not going to be a like overnight process, but I would be willing to be supervised visitation. I'm not talking about any overnight visits for any length of time. I'm talking about just being able to meet up in a public place, even to be able to see my child.
And you spoke about the supervised visits. You would be in agreement to having supervised visits just to allow you some time to visit with the child. Is that correct?
Absolutely.
All right. And you reside in Dallas. Is that correct?
Yes.
And would you be in agreement to supervised visits to take place at at the family place to allow for supervised visits?
Absolutely. And I was also wondering if there would be any kind of counseling and mediation that we could be doing.
And do you understand that the other party has requested that information, such as his address and telephone number, be withheld from the record? Are you in agreement to that request?
Sure. Yes.
Do you have any additional information you'd like to offer to the court as it relates to this case?
I do want to add that I have been requested by him to seek out like psychiatry and mediation and family therapy for our situation, mediation, if you will. I gave him that information, and he told me that he would call and make the appointment. However, that never happened, and he asked me to do so. But I actually was working. I was working, and I have proof of that, and I am more than willing
To think that it's his responsibility, the sole custodian's responsibility, to provide you mediation, to provide you psychiatric help. You're not making any attempts to even call the police when you're trying to show up for her birthday parties. It's absolutely absurd. To me, it shows to me that you're not making the effort to be a parent. You're fully aware of your drug problems, you're fully aware of your mental health issues, and you're fully aware of your drug use. It's up to you and no one else but you in order to fix that. But in the meantime, I'm glad that this father is withholding visitation, because for damn sure, you're clearly not in the right state of mind to even be a parent. Now, we're going to watch the judge conclude.
To provide proof of that. However, it was placed back on me to be able to make the appointments. And at that moment in time, I was working 40 hours a week, sometimes more. So I was unable to take time out of my day for that. But that's really all I want to add.
All right. And you stated that you was working. What is your current status of your employment? Are you currently employed?
No, I'm currently unemployed.
And when did your employment end, ma'am?
My employment ended sometime last month.
And are you currently looking for work?
Absolutely.
Do you understand that the state has a agency that can assist you in finding employment? Would you like to be placed into that to assist you with looking for work?
Absolutely.
Do you have any additional information you'd like to offer at this time?
No, thank you.
No further question for this party, Your Honor.
All right. The parts all agreed to at the beginning of the hearing, those are all fine with me. Those we made the order of the court. If there's been family violence, whether it's one time or multiple times, it's family violence. So that's the way it is. We're going to make a finding. There's been family violence. I'm granting Mr. Stafford's request for non-disclosure. He's not required to let you know where he lives. I am asking that both of y'all are ordered to add an app on your phone called App Close, AppClose. And that way y'all can communicate on that app. That will be very important, especially since we're doing a non-disclosure. Of course, anything that's on the app that you text over is recorded and can be used against you in court in the future. So make sure that you are keeping yourself with, being having a good conversation instead of something negative. Hang on just a second. Okay. All right. As far as what I have to do today, I have to make a decision based on the best interest of this child. And obviously, Ms. Lambert, if you have drug and alcohol issues, that that makes me give pause to why I should do visitation on a regular way or things like that. Unfortunately, you have some issues. Maybe you have some mental health issues too. I don't know. But I can't give you regular visitation. I can't even trust that you can be alone with the child at this point until you handle your issues. So I'm going to do a visitation to be supervised by the Faith and Liberty Place on the second Saturdays of each month from 12 to 2 p.m. for 2 hours. And that will only begin after you provide Mr. Stafford a copy of a hair follicle test. I'll let you go and do a test, and then you need to provide it to him. I think you can provide it to him on App Close, or you can text it to him or something like that once you get a result. But if you're not clean, there's no reason for you to do visitation. So you'll have to make a choice of whether it's what's more important, your drug or alcohol or your child. And I think that's what Mr. Stafford's saying as well. He wants you to make a choice. And until you make that choice, there's nothing else that we can really do at this point because you're not safe around the child.
Yeah.
You have to
Yeah.
be able to supervise. I'm talking. You have to be able to supervise your child. You cannot do that while you're intoxicated or high. A 3-year-old can move pretty fast. And so even if you're not using anything, it's pretty hard to keep up with a 3-year-old. And so you have to understand that you need to take care of your own personal issues. If you need mental health help, you don't have to wait on Mr. Stafford to do that. You can do that on your own. And you may need to do that. It's up to you. But we can't help you with that. So there's some things that you have to fix for yourself before you can take care of somebody else. I'm ordering you into the Choices program, which is a program to help you look for work. I need you to hang around here for a minute after court hearing to talk to the choice representative so they can give you information to enroll you in that program and help you to look for work. After you're done with that, you don't have to come back to see me. Yes, Mr. Tatum?
Yes, Your Honor. I just wanted to confirm. You stated that the visits are to take place on what Saturdays?
Second Saturdays.
On the second. Thank you, Your Honor.
All right. That's the order I've made. I understand y'all may not agree with it, but the Attorney General's office put that in writing for me to sign and email y'all a copy if they have your email addresses. Ms. Lambert, hang around, like I said, for a minute to speak with the choice representative. And Mr. Stafford, you can press leave to leave for the day. Thank you.
This case, along with many of the cases that I review on this channel, demonstrates that as a woman, you can give birth to a child, but that does not make you a mother. It is really sad to see the outcome where a family is split apart due to overindulgence into the fast life, overindulgence into drug use or alcohol use, making you an unfit, violent parent. But I'm glad to finally see judges in modern time, in present day today, making fair judgments when it comes to the family court system. But again, remember that this is an extremely rare situation, right? If we flip the script and it was the father that was endangering the child, still using drugs, it's a high chance that that father would already be in jail. But listen, for all my G's out there that continue to mess with women, unsavory women, and you know that they have issues and you're going raw daddy in them, this might be your situation. That's why I always tell my G's on this channel, wrap it up, wrap it up, wrap it up, because it won't even be as much as you that's going to suffer in this situation, but you'll suffer. But the number one person that's going to suffer is what y'all create, your child. Be safe out there, gents. We only got but one life to live, so we need to live it in a way that brings us the most amount of results, or the highest degree of outcomes that we possibly can. Until next time, YouTube. Peace.